Hello and welcome to 2020. This is your host Antonio Sanin here. Today we are interviewing with Martti Ahtisaari, the previous president of Finland. In 2008 he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. He has been working for many decades in many different places and he has had a colossal beneficial impact on countries that he has represented. He was born in 1937 in Viipuri, Finland, and his country was taken over by Russia when he was just an infant. Ever since that happened, he has been motivated to help people who are in need of peace. He is best known for helping Namibia get independence from South Africa, helping facilitate peace in Kosovo on several occasions, and resolving disputes between the Indonesian government and the Aceh province. After his involvement in the Finnish government, he has continued to work with the UN and the Crisis Management Initiative to promote peace. He attended Oulu University for teaching, and he also has a wife and one son. So, Mr. Ahtisaari, how did you first get involved in foreign affairs?
I became the ambassador of Tanzania in 1973 until 1976. After being in Tanzania, I built more connection with countries such as Mozambique, Zambia, and Somalia.
So what happened after you were in Tanzania?
I was compelled to begin working in Namibia. I was the senator from 1975 to 1976, and in 1977 I became the UN commissioner for the country. I was there for a total of 13 years. In 1989, Bert Carlson was supposed to help facilitate an agreement between South Africa and Namibia. However, he died on Pan Am Flight 103, which exploded mid-flight, killing everyone on board. I took over as the UN Special Representative and helped them to reach an agreement. I was the main supervisor of the UN Transition Assistance Group, in which I monitored elections, put military troops, as well as police in the region, to ensure safe electoral processes. They gained independence afterwards in 1991.
Well, South Africa had control over Namibia ever since World War I. Even in the 1960s, when countries were gaining independence, South Africa failed to give up control over Namibia. Mr. Ahtisaari recognized this, and in 1989, he led the Transition Assistance Group, in which he removed South African troops, ended discrimination laws, accepted refugees, and imprisoned unlawful South African oppressors. It was because of his efforts that Namibia was able to hold free elections. This is a grand achievement, Mr. Ahtisaari. So, what motivated you to promote peace efforts such as this?
I would say that my childhood had a very large impact on my opinions of peace. Being kicked out of my home, along with 400,000 other Finnish people, made me realize how awful the humanitarian aspects of war are. Therefore, I try to do everything in my power to end wars so that no more people have to suffer. It brings me great happiness to give peace to the lives of people who have never known it. It's my job to make sure that hope is restored and that people believe in the future once more.
That is pretty impressive, Mr. Ahtisaari. So, I could see how your childhood had a lasting effect on you. You moved around with your mom for many years and you finally settled in Kuopio. So, what was your first job after you graduated in Teachers College in 1959?
I was a primary school teacher in Finland for many years. My father wanted me to join the military, but I felt otherwise. I joined the Ministry of Finland in 1965 and worked for various departments until I got involved in foreign affairs in the 1970s.
So then you went into working in Kosovo for a period of 17 years. What did you do there?
After Yugoslavia broke up, Kosovo wanted independence, but Serbia would not give it to them, so on 2 occasions I helped facilitate peace talks to remove Serbian troops. My compelling arguments convinced Slobodan Milosevic to capitulate under NATO's agreements to cease the fighting. Evidently, before the second one ended, Kosovo unilaterally declared itself a sovereign nation.
Great. On to the situation in Indonesia. The Aceh province lies in Indonesia, and it has wanted to gain independence ever since 1976. These conflicts have been ongoing for decades and have led to the death of over 15,000 people. So how would you go about resolving such a challenging conflict?
Well, this was one of my biggest challenges. I used my organization, the CMI, to resolve the dispute. We held a meeting in Helsinki to discuss issues that had been looming between the Indonesian government and the Aceh province for over 30 years. After 7 months and 5 rounds of talks, a final memorandum of understanding was reached.
That was a very practical and smart way to deal with such a challenging conflict. What exactly is the CMI?
It is the Crisis Management Initiative, which I founded in 2000. I made it after I finished my presidency of Finland. It is meant to act as an independent United Nations-like organization. It helps to facilitate peaceful resolutions to problems, and works very closely with other peacekeeping groups.
So you were the president of Finland for a while before founding the CMI. What exactly did you do in Finland?
Yes, I was elected president of Finland from 1994 until 2000. During this time, I advocated strongly for Finland to join the European Union. Eventually, they did join, and Finland recovered from a crippling economic recession. The EU is amazing in its potential for solving crises in all parts of the world. Politics, however, got in the way of peacekeeping, so I went off to start the CMI.
Then, once your presidency ended, what have been some of your more recent projects besides the CMI and resolving peace in Indonesia? I heard you were involved in South Africa, Iraq, and Turkey, as well as continuing to work closely with the United Nations.
From 2003 to 2005, I was the UN Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa. I've also been trying to get Turkey into the UN and EU. Therefore, I am the co-chair of the European Council on Foreign Relations, and I am the chairman of the Independent Commission of Turkey. I've worked with the IRA with inspecting several arms dumps across the Middle East. In Iraq, I had an independent security panel on the safety of UN workers. I am still heavily involved in the world scene.
Because of all these great efforts, you won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2008. So, how did that feel? How did you react?
I was very humbled that other people could see the good that I was doing. It really shows how much people care about peace. Needless to say, I was very happy.
Clearly, Mr. Ahtisaari, you have been a pioneer in peacemaking. What would you say is your overall philosophy, and what are your goals for the future?
Well, I try to break out some of the thorniest problems that dictate the world, and I chase to solve them, no matter how difficult they seem. Humanitarian efforts around the globe are as important as anything else. While war may not be avoidable, all conflicts may be solved. Peacemaking can include everybody, including the weak, powerful, victors, men and women, young and old. I hope in the future we can find a solution for the problems in the Middle East and create a safer Earth for everyone with the help of everyone.
Okay, this has been a great interview. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahtisaari. You are truly a wholehearted person that cares about everyone, not just in your own country, but around the whole globe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.